real maturity out of purity. I'm wondering, for such a young guy, where do you see that coming from?
Yeah, I think he's, his family, his background. I think being international and some of the experiences he's had certainly have helped. He's been away from home a lot at a younger age. Certainly last year, being in prep school at Brewster Academy, having that year also is helpful because you have all those experiences and, you know how you need to conduct yourself, how you need to carry yourself away from home, do your own laundry, get to bed at a certain time, all those things. So his maturity is off the charts. I mean, you see how he carries himself on the court like an older veteran player, but that's what he does, 24 hours a day. That's who he is and what he does every day.
How has Joshua continued to impress you, as it seems like he's an automatic 18 points a game, the assists, the rebounds? We've seen it throughout his career here, but just what types of levels has he added as he gets ready to go home for this tournament?
Well, more than even the basketball component, it's the leadership piece of setting the tone for our team, being an aggressor, making sure that every single day at practice and every time out that we're production driven. And last year, I think there would have been times with Joshua in some of the games early in the season where maybe his focus wasn't as great as it's been, and he's been in a tremendous spot. To me, I'm always gauging with him the rebounding numbers, especially going to the offensive glass, to the level of aggressiveness he's bringing to the game. But obviously his playmaking is tremendous. His IQ, his ability to make plays for his teammates, to get us in the paint, to create an advantage. And then defensively, his versatility and ability to finish plays on the glass is great. So I think it really comes down to him being production driven, every possession, every time he takes the court, because we see his gifts and we see how much he can impact winning offensively and defensively. And so it's a high standard for him to uphold, but we need him to uphold it every single time out.
With Joshua, how do you describe his leadership style? Is there like a hidden vocal element that we just don't get to see when he's in front of the mic, or is he a lead by example guy?
Yeah, I think the example is certainly the first part for Joshua, because when you show guys that you're going to pressure the ball, that you're going to be on the glass, we talk a lot offensively, get the ball in the paint and make the right play, and you're committed to doing those things. I think that's the most powerful form of leadership, is example. And then guys respect his voice. They know what he's accomplished throughout his career. They know what his goals are for our team this season and what he's looking to do. They see his intent every day. So when he picks his spots to be vocal, he can be very impactful because of, they see his actions aligning that way.
This event is obviously kind of taking over this week. What's it mean for you and your program to be involved with it?
Yeah, it's a tremendous honor to be in the Players Era tournament. There's, certainly they can be very selective on who they allow in and the programs that they allow in. And so to be included among the other programs that are very highly regarded, a lot of respect for the guys that have come before us, the players, the coaches, everybody that's helped to elevate our program to get us to the point where, where we're a team that's in demand for an event like this.
What is it about the organizers of this group that makes it such an attractive event for programs like yourself and other top programs who are participating?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you want to play in this event, and I think the organization of the event, you've heard it's a first-class event across the boards. For our guys to have that opportunity, it's traveling distance, but nothing that's too extreme that sets your guys back from that vantage point. Certainly, there's a financial component that's beneficial, for our program, for our athletics department, and then just the ability to play the best teams on national television and test yourself early in the season. So many positives of playing in this event for us.
Is the NIL component just table stakes going forward, assuming that there's no major changes between now and tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know in terms of how things continue to move forward, what the rules are, or how they continue to evolve. I know we're going to follow the rules. We're going to do things by the book, and I know we also have an athletics director who is pretty good over time with figuring out how to do the best thing, for our program and for our department. So we'll just continue to take it as it comes. I know as much as, people have talked about how much is changing and everything that is going on in college athletics. I'd like to think that there's been a consistency to our program and how it's looked and how the players we've had, the character of the guys, and how we've done things. So whatever those rules are and however NIL continues to evolve, we'll take it as it comes and act in the best interest of our program.
What have you seen from St. John's so far on tape?
Yeah, I mean, certainly they're a very gifted team in terms of ability of, players to be able to make plays. Ejiofor at the 5 is a tremendous matchup challenge, a guy that can play away from the goal, can make plays, tremendous offensive rebounder. He's extremely gifted. They've got Bryce Hopkins is an elite scoring mismatch player, and then they've got tremendous size at the guard positions, guys like Sonnen and Ian Jackson and others. So, they're a very gifted team. They're a team that, they play with some great pace, great energy, and certainly they have, one of the coaches that's regarded as one of the best of all time. So just a very high-quality program.
And what about the Creighton matchup?
Yeah, I'm not interested in that right now.
I should have seen that coming.
How excited are you to go back to Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, going to this tournament's great. I mean, it's when you're in the coaching or when you're the players, you just kind of the plane lands and you are where you are. So even though I lived there for a few years, it's not like this is a hey, let's catch up and yuck it up with friends. We're going there for a very specific business interest to play well, to come out with wins, and to do what's best for our program. So great to be there, and the focus is on the games, and that starts with St. John's on Monday.
You talked about the business side of things going to this, your connections. Joshua has a lot of those as well. Have you communicated with him at all about handling any distractions when they come if they're turning down?
Yeah, he and I have talked already just in terms of, what's going to come for people looking for tickets, or, maybe someone wants to ask if they can come to shoot around, which that will be an emphatic no, or anything like that. So we stay in our routine. We do the same thing that we do every single day. And so hopefully for him, it just involves hopefully nobody in his circle puts pressure on him late about tickets or anything like that, so he can just keep his focus the same way that he's done up to this point.
What has Dominic added for you on both ends of the floor, and what would you like to see him do better on both ends?
Yeah, Dominic's ability to get into the paint is, it's tremendous. I mean, he gets downhill, he's trying to drive downhill, he's probably trying to go right, and yet keeping him out of there is really hard. So he gives us a dynamic to attack the paint, to draw fouls, to get to the line, to get to the basket. It's an important component for our offense. Defensively, he's got instincts off the ball where he can make plays, get steals, get in the open court. Love to continue to see him guard the basketball with greater conviction, rebound the basketball, because when he gets the rebound and pushes the break, I think that's great. And even offensively, as possessions wear on, continuing to think about how do I get us back in the paint? How do I attack the paint again? We see what it looks like in transition and in a slow break. Love to continue to see that later in possessions as teams get more spread out as well.
Where do you guys feel like you're at with Dominic's, shooting from the free throw line and from the field?
Yeah, I mean, love to see him, convert more at the foul line for sure. It's something that he works on, and because he gets there at such a high regularity, that's going to be an important factor. And to me, everybody's got to figure out how to be efficient. What are the shots for each individual to be efficient? His responsibility or role for our team is get us to the basket, get us in the paint, put pressure on that defense, and then when that happens, make the right play that shows up. And so I'm confident he'll perform better in terms of getting to the foul line and converting there. He works on it every day. We see him do it every day, so we'll believe that that's what will happen in the games.
Both Eric Mulder and Doc Veda seem to be kind of battling it out for that backup 5 spot. How do you determine which matchups and which situations are right for each player?
Yeah, more so. I'm looking at energy they bring to practice. I'm not as much one of a, scheme in the game, more so of the habits you build every single day. And so it's challenging those guys to bring tremendous effort and energy. A lot of times that's how I'm determining who gets the first run in the game. And then once you get into the game, it's make it go your way and play well. And for those guys, really the pick and roll defense is a big part of it. Offensive rebounding is a big part of it. And then helping us facilitate some offense and 5 out. So, but I've been pleased with what both of them brought to the table. And I think, in almost all situations, it's going to be get them both in the game and just see who's having the better night that night.